welcome to the Dusty Auspex. I'm Kyle, and we have special guest Logan the TO with us today.
Lights out, Logan.
Lights out, Logan. And I think we got an interesting little show for you guys tonight. We are going to talk a little bit about the Imperial Knights, which Logan is going to cover.
Yep.
And then we have some information on our upcoming league, the Call of Eternity, and of course the first bits of information coming out for the Highlander event that's going to be later this summer. So, without any other preamble here, I think we should dive right into a little bit of night discussion.
Yeah.
So, how overpowered are these, Logan?
Not.
Yo, great. Fantastic. That's exactly where I want to jump in.
So, I've been looking through the codex. I know some people are seeing the sky is falling, which
the sky is always falling.
Happens
right.
with every new codex, but
every time people look at, oh, this is the worst it can possibly do to you.
Yeah. Everybody, when you look at an opponent's army, you tend to see them rolling perfectly. When you look at your own army, you're like, oh my god, I rolled like
fail.
5 1s in a row. I can't do anything. So just remember the averages. Like those knights, yeah, they look tough, but you're what, fighting 3, 4 of them at most. And if you're fighting 4, they've got a min guard battalion, so 2 commanders, 3 squads of 10 guardsmen.
Pops you at about 180 points?
Yeah.
Yep. And
all you gotta do is kill those guardsmen and, oh, bye-bye command points. And knights need command points.
Knights absolutely need the command points. That boost from having the guard battalion, or even the double guard battalion, which people are starting to mess around with the idea of, it's necessary for all those awesome stratagems that they've got in the Knights Codex.
Like, Knight players are always like, oh, I get that +1 invul. It's like, yeah, for 2 CP you get it.
Yeah. And where's your regeneration coming from?
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I've been looking at some lists online, actually, and I saw 3 on Reddit. So, first one was basically 4 knights in a min guard battalion. His knights were a mix of just one of the big ones, I think it was a Valiant, and then 3 sword and I think it was a melt-a-gun for one, a battle cannon for the other.
Yeah.
It was very eclectic.
It was kind of a little blend of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, this is not good.
Yeah.
Like, your knights are not in a... They have no, like, dedicated role. You have a close combat weapon and a gun on each of them. Like,
which
take
isn't
two
bad,
guns.
but basically you're wasting utility at that point. You're not going to get anything fancy out of it.
No,
So.
and especially the chainsword.
Yeah.
The chainsword went from hero to zero.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
You're either going to be river dancing on your opponent, or you're going to be taking your claw and squish, 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 throw.
Yep. I think people are going to be really over on that death grip. They want to get that thing going.
Yeah. I think one of the cool ways to run this list will be taking 4 of the what's the close combat one?
Oh, that's the... Is that the Hellbaron?
No.
Oh, the close combat knight.
Yeah.
The Gallant.
The Gallant, yeah. Taking a bunch of Gallants and just running them up the field.
Yeah. I think people are going to underestimate that one a whole hell of a lot.
Because, you might kill 1 or 2 before they hit you, but then you have 2 Gallants in your lines, river dancing all over the place.
And you can't underestimate the kicky feat.
No.
We figured that out early on in 8th edition with the 2 knights against Magnus.
Yeah, those river dancing feet, man.
Yeah, it's a huge, it's volume of attacks.
Yeah.
They've got good strength. You've got good AP from it. Like, that's a solid choice.
So that was one of the lists I looked at. Had a small guard battalion, but I'm like, meh. You just drop one captain smash fucker in, and he'll.
Yeah, it's 1 CP farm. That's it.
He'll wipe out the commanders, and you're good. Next one was he used AdMech allies instead. And he did a Mechanicus house.
Another popular choice, as the AdMech battalion isn't that much more expensive than
it's
the guard
only
one.
220.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're only paying 40 more points, and you get the added bonus of the what's that chart?
You've got the Canticles chart.
The Canticles, yes.
Yeah, with the Master Machines, some of them can repair the Questoris Knights. So
yes.
As long as you're not going the Dominus Clash, you're set.
Yep. It's I think right now we're all seeing the Guard Battalion as the cheapest point of entry into a command point farm.
Right, because people are trying to figure out the easiest way they can shove in the extra command points.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I think there's definitely a higher power level when you use the Mechanicus, because getting all your knights on a 2-up save, because the cover save, oh lord.
Yeah, that is pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, and I mean, I would even pay the points to do a Mars battalion, put Call in there,
for sure,
and have him going, okay, roll twice, yes, cover save.
Yeah.
Roll twice, yes, cover save.
Yeah, just to guarantee that you're getting that. And
Lord.
Call's not so expensive at this point that it makes it, out of the realm of possibility to get him in there.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
And I mean, cover save is the obvious one, but look at some of those other Canticles.
Absolutely.
You add them to the Knights' already good abilities.
Oh, there's some fantastic ones in there. There's some fantastic ones.
CC ones that really power you up. Like,
Ben Gerling, he uses his AdMech, the on-foot detachment, and some of those that he throws out is just insane.
Yeah.
Like getting caught with that Electro...
the Electro Priests,
yeah.
They're scary.
And they're
3-up
very
invols
scary.
are no joke.
Yeah.
So that was another one. I liked that one. It had a lot of CC Knights, so I was like, cool.
Yeah, hey, combat, if you can get it to work, I am a big fan.
Yeah, and I think he had a few CC ones and then a big one with the Flamer and the...
Okay, so still going the closer range.
Yeah, so I thought that was really cool.
I think the Conflagration Flamer is an excellent choice.
It is.
My only beef is that it's stuck with the Harpoon as the other option.
Which is one-shot syndrome.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a good stat, it's really cool, the damage, but it's still a single shot that's coming out at you.
We all know how many times that fails.
Oh, every time you need
I'm going to hit on a 2+.
Reroll.
So yeah, then the last list I saw, which was an interesting one, the guy mixed Space Wolves in.
Okay.
To just a single big knight with the long range guns.
Okay, so going with the plasma and the
volcano. Yeah, so I thought that was kind of cool. My one issue with that is, Space Wolves don't have a codex right now, so they're very overcosted.
Maybe in a few weeks we'll
in a few weeks, I hope that'll fix itself. The other problem I had with it, though, is he had no flyers or anything like that to get his Wolfen and whatnot into combat.
Oh.
So literally all you have to do is shoot the big knight, because you don't have to worry about Wolfen or anything for 2 turns.
Yep.
Because they got to run up the field.
Yep.
And then on your turn 3 and 4, you just blow away the Wolfen and the big Thunder Wolf Cavalry as they come up on you, and you're good. Like
that's rough.
A 1-2 punch list it's
You
not
have to have
good.
layers.
You gotta have
Yeah.
a way to connect the second punch.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, cool. Your one knight can hit me hard that first turn. What's your second punch?
Yeah. It's like what happens once this thing starts getting weakened?
Yeah.
And I mean, granted, depending how you go, it can take a lot to pull those
It definitely
knights
can.
down.
Definitely
But-
can. But we're seeing a meta right now where stuff hits hard and fast first turn.
Yes.
You know?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's just how it is.
Anyone who's been starting to face Harlequins lately will understand the hard and
Yep.
fast.
How many haywire, like how much haywire does it take to drop a knight?
To drop a knight, to do it reliably, I'd need 3 squads of 3.
Okay, it's not bad though.
Yeah. Average numbers would put it to just under 2 turns to kill it.
Okay.
Like just around the 2-turn range. It'll have a few wounds left, ideally. But I mean, when you're talking about rolling to wound, and on a 4+, it's a mortal wound. A D6,
Yeah.
it's D3 mortal wounds, and that's including whatever other damage you would cause.
Yeah.
It doesn't take too long to start really piling it on.
No, it
there,
doesn't. And if-
especially on a platform that only has stratagem as its mortal
Yes.
wound defense.
Yeah. And if you're not playing Hawk Shroud,
Oh man.
once you hit, what is it? I think it's
14 and then
14.
7.
Yeah, once you hit 7 wounds, you're essentially a walking pile of garbage. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, once you hit that low tier,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, there's nothing that's going to save you.
yeah, Hawk Shroud, great, but
Oh, yeah, yeah. You're guaranteeing you're still going to be up in that second
yeah,
tier as
you
long
need.
as possible.
It's tough to. It's how do I put this? Hawk Shroud is like the beginner entry level knight one.
Absolutely. This
Yeah.
this is a good one
It's
to get
the-
used to the Knights in the Codex
It's the
if you want to
4
play
to
them.
12-year-old kind of
Yeah, right?
level.
It's
for,
the Warhammer Adventures
Yeah,
level.
yeah.
Yeah, it's our 8 to 12.
If you're not too sure about it, you're dipping your toe in, take Hawk Shroud.
Yes,
You can't go
very
wrong.
safe one there.
Yeah.
You're going to guarantee that you still have a lot of pop from your shooting right down until the lowest level of
Yeah.
wounds. And then once you start figuring out how to mitigate that a little bit, how to
Yeah.
protect the knights a little bit better, because a lot of people, when they first get into an army like that, you have the idea of like, all my big stuff's going forward,
Yeah.
it's intimidating, and it's not always the best tactic.
No,
There's other
sometimes
ways
you
to
put
work
it in bad situations.
Exactly. You can get baited in real easy if you're
Oh
too
yeah,
aggressive
yeah.
almost.
Like those Blood Angels captains with Thunder Hammers.
I'm sorry, they will take down
Yeah.
one of the knights.
One
No
one of
Overwatch
them.
3d6 charge.
Yeah. One of
Yeah.
them with the extra damage
Yep.
relic, he will take down a knight.
Yep. 4 damage hit.
Yeah.
That's going.
Two of those guys
Yeah.
with nothing on them, just the hammers and shields, will take down a
the
knight.
Yeah.
3 of them,
Sorry.
it's not
There's
even
nothing
a,
left. Yeah.
It's not
Yeah,
even
absolutely. Which can be a little bit frustrating,
Yeah.
but I think if people look at knights as another ingredient in the Imperium soup
Yeah.
to make it strong, you're gonna get a really good benefit.
I love adding adding one of those big knights into just a normal army.
Oh, sure.
Like,
sure.
it's really cool.
I mean, you can keep it below 600 points
Yep.
and have a really effective platform.
Yep. It's like, that's kind of your... Because Imperial players a lot, they're like, oh, we don't have a Magnus, we don't have a Mortarion.
This is your Magnus.
This
and
is your...
Mortarion. Yeah.
It doesn't have fly, okay. But with one, you're not having to spread your stratagems around.
Absolutely.
So you can just buff the hell out of that guy.
Yep.
He'll be walking around on like a 4-up invul, 3-up sometimes, with a 2-up armor save.
Yeah. And I mean, I know a lot of people are wanting to do the 3 big knights in
Yeah.
the super heavy so they can get the characters and start putting the relics out. I still don't know if that's the most efficient way to go.
I don't think so, to be
seeing
honest.
CP from other detachments like the Guard or the
Yeah.
AdMech battalions, and then fitting in even the little knights, even the armigers.
Yeah.
Like,
We have to think it's only 3 CP, too.
it is.
You're forcing so many points into a detachment
For
to get 3 CP.
As opposed to spending 180 to get 5.
Yeah.
Like,
Why not just only take 1 or 2 knights?
Yeah.
You know, you don't get the special bonus, but whatever.
but
Throw
you
some
still get to play
armatures
with
in
a lot
there.
of cool toys.
Yeah. You still get your like your house rules.
Oh, sure.
So save the 500 points from another knight and build out a flushed guard battalion.
Unless that's what you really want
Yeah.
is a 4 model big knight army,
Yeah.
sure. But if you're finding that it's lower on effectiveness or you want to get it a little more efficient, these are things that would
Yeah.
help a lot.
If you're doing 4 knights though, you're probably gonna want to do the close combat ones.
Yeah.
They're so cheap. They're so cheap.
I could see one of the big guys for the fire support, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
3 of the little ones running in, just like,
Yep, like those guys, and one of the houses even lets them like outflank.
yep.
I think
Yep.
I forget which
It was
house
a
it is,
stratagem or a house,
but-
or something like that.
It,
that
it's
allowed
a
them-
house stratagem.
Yeah,
So you have
and
to
it
be the
allows them to
house and then
outflank.
yeah, it's
And I'm sorry. Outflanking a close combat knight is ridiculous. That's instantly something that has to be dealt
Yep.
with, or your line is going to get chewed.
and you have to remember the real benefit that comes it is it can't be shot.
Yes.
You are fully protecting
Yes.
that knight.
There are a lot of times I'll charge even a squishy unit into something just to minimize the number of shots coming back.
So yeah, that's kind of the knight list I looked at.
Yeah.
I wasn't
so
super impressed, but
seems like impressions are similar to what I had, and that
Yeah.
there's potential utility, but this isn't something to panic.
no, I wouldn't panic, guys. I'm sure as the meta kind of flattens
to
out,
evolve,
yeah,
yeah.
we'll see better lists come out. But just play games. That's all I can say.
Yeah,
Don't,
absolutely. It's the experience of playing the games
Yeah.
and getting out there and seeing what your models actually do against the other ones instead of just the theory.
Yeah.
It can make a huge difference. It can
Theory
make a huge
hammer is
difference in
great.
how you play. Yeah.
Until you roll 6 ones.
Absolutely, absolutely. And there can be things that you're theory hammering out and feel completely
Yeah.
confident in. You start playing it and realize it doesn't fit your play style, or you're not using
Yeah.
it as well. Well, great. Then make the adjustments to something that does work for you.
Exactly.
Like, Pure Math Hammer is nice as a basic tool to give you an idea of what your potentials are,
Yeah.
but not 100% rely on. Don't make all your decisions based on that.
No, it's you definitely need to play games.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say.
Yeah, it's always about the game experience. And that's the kind of thing that I tell people when they're looking at tournaments, when they're trying to
Yes.
get experience for that. It's like, get as many games in as
Play games
possible
first.
with the list you want to use.
Don't show up to the tournament being like, oh, I've only tried this list once or twice.
Oh, I built this one last night. No, it's not going to happen.
Oh boy.
Sorry, it's going to be rough. You're going to forget things.
Yep.
It's just the way it is.
Oh, I forget things. I've played my army for 3 years. You know,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Like,
And I mean, the more you play your army, the better you're doing.
Yep.
The more you play against a variety of armies, the better you're going to do because you know the things that you're going to come up against.
Oh, yeah,
It
yeah.
comes down to fewer surprises, I think.
oh yeah, for sure. So you want to jump us into the next topic here?
Absolutely. I think that's a good transition to talk about our preview for the Highlander coming up.
Oh boy.
So this is going to be the next event that is hosted by us at 40 Below Gaming. We are looking at the last weekend of August, the 25th. So mark your calendars. And from what I recall, this Saturday morning is when we're going to be putting up the link on Facebook, and then the ticket sales are going to be starting. And I would highly suggest getting in on these right away. There are 26 spots available.
They're gonna go.
And
They're
they'll
gonna go
quick.
fast.
Yeah. Now, there is potential, as always, for more to open up, but that means you have to get on the wait list if you're interested. We
Yeah.
need to see the interest on the wait list and that we have sufficient people on there to be able to make that transition and open
Yep.
up enough spots to make it
Don't
worthwhile.
just hide in the shadows.
Yeah, don't assume. And
Yeah.
of course, the more people we see showing up on the wait list, the more we try and adjust things for the next events that we put on. Try to figure out, okay, we only had 20 show up this one time, but 6 people were on the wait list. Great, let's bump her up to 26 next time,
Yep.
see if we can do it.
And you know, our competitive scene in the city has been growing like crazy.
It has been
since
fantastic.
The new edition.
Yeah, this last year has been very healthy for it. I mean, I always talk about how much I benefited from 7th and how
Yeah.
much my list did well in the bowl that was happening, man. I'm so much happier to see the scene healthy
Yeah.
and expanding
A lot of
than to
people
have a
coming
few
out.
people getting advantage and
Yeah.
doing really well while others are completely frustrated and won't even come out.
Yeah, no, I'm amazed at the tournament response and even just pickup game response in this
Absolutely.
edition. Last year, or not last year, last edition was like pulling teeth to get a game.
Yeah,
It's like,
especially
ah.
towards the end when you were carrying
Yeah.
like 6 books just to run one list.
Yeah,
And yeah,
it's a lot better.
it is much, much better. Also, I've noticed that we're getting more variety of people from around the city and the surrounding areas coming
Yep.
in and joining the events, people that we haven't seen before. Every time we're here at PvP for the open gaming,
Yeah, packed.
you're seeing more new people. At least a few every time are showing up, and it's like, okay, this is good.
Yeah.
This is great.
Speaking of variety,
Yes.
the Highlander event. We'll hop back on that real quick.
Yeah, so because of the nature of Highlander, which originally was developed as a way to kind of balance tournament events, make you bring out a wider variety of units.
Yep.
The idea is that you're limited to one of each data sheet except for your troops. In which case, I think we have a restriction. I can't remember exactly what it was at, but I think it was three. Yeah, 3 per troop type.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're looking at 1 of anything else.
1 of anything.
Yeah.
And this is data sheets only, though.
Yes. So if you have a Lehman Russ, you can do the 3 on your data sheet.
You can do the 3 on the data sheet. Also, things such as like, say if you want to take a Death Watch Army and a Space Marines Army, you can take a Death Watch Captain and a Space Marine Captain. It's 2 separate sheets.
Yes, absolutely.
So don't worry about that. We're trying to just make it as simple as possible.
Yep. And to go with this, since of course some armies are going to be restricted a little harder, it might be a little more difficult to fill out the usual detachments, we have developed a special Highlander detachment straight from the mind of our own Scott Brewer and his crazy scenarios. So this will give you 3 command points. You can only run 1 of these detachments in your list. And it is fairly simple. It is one of everything.
One of everything, except flyer.
Except the flyers, the dedicated. But the basic slots, the HQ, the troop, the elite, the fast attack, the heavies. You have to have 1 of each in order to qualify this detachment.
Now, this is great. I am going to be using this detachment.
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is a great way to fit in a few extra units.
Yeah. With no duplicate detachments allowed.
Yes, that's the other thing. It's only 2 detachments max and no duplicates.
So it's not like I can bring 2 battalions. So you know what? I'm taking 1 of those. I'm taking a battalion.
And then there you go.
Yeah, I'm set.
Gives you a mighty 11 to work with to start, and at 1500, that's going to be a nice one to go. That's a nice level.
And I like this style of event because we're going to see some cool stuff coming out of it.
Absolutely. This isn't the typical more competitive ITC style where you're getting the optimized list, where you're getting the full rules. You've got to think a little bit more about what you're doing here. There's restrictions. You can only bring so many of each unit, and that forces you to bring out units that are considered not conventionally useful or as powerful.
Like we were talking right before the podcast here, and what was I saying there about the HQs for Dark Eldar?
Yeah, exactly. So if I'm going to my Cabal and I'm doing the Dark Eldar Battalion, I can do an Archon, and then
not a second Archon. So what do you got to bring?
So then I got to bring Mr. Drazar.
Yeah. When was the last time you saw that boy?
Choppy. Since he's been written off as not useful, I can't even recall.
Yeah.
I've seen Incubi on the table, but
not
Drazar with him.
Yeah.
No. And of course, a reminder that all the final event announcements and details are going to be available on the 40 Below Gaming website, and of course on our Facebook page, the 40 Below Gaming Facebook page.
It's always being updated.
Yep. We constantly do both. The 40 Below Gaming website is the one to go to register and to get the full information. That's where you can always find the details.
Yep.
Highlander I find a very exciting event.
I had an amazing time at it last year.
Yeah. It was really interesting, had a lot of great people out for it, and again, different than the feel of Plains of War, different of the feel than what you'd consider the competitive events.
Last year, I was running Chaos, which in 7th, if anybody remembers, was garbage.
Unless you were Alpha Legion.
That was until the end, though.
That was the very end.
That was the
Traitor Legion's book right at the end.
But,
and then they're like, oh, this cool book.
Yeah. So I was running Chaos, and you know what? I ended up coming in 5th, I think, just because the meta was so wild in that event.
Absolutely. Things that, again, are considered not viable just because it's so varied and there's so many different types of units out suddenly become viable.
Yep. It was no spam. No, because at the time, what was it? It was the Warp Spiders were all the rage.
It was the Warp Spiders, yes.
And you can only bring 1 unit of them.
Yep.
So it was like, all right, I got a chance.
Oh man, those things were horrible at that point.
And now they're just nerfed to the ground. Yeah.
That's life. That's what GW does. Gives and takes.
It's chasing the dragon syndrome.
Yeah, and that's why, like, again, kind of flipping back and forth, but still on the tournament topics here. I try and give advice to people when they're building a tournament list or when they're first doing the tournaments that don't necessarily chase the meta. Don't chase what's the most powerful right now.
Oh, for
Build
sure.
around your army and start fine-tuning from there. It goes back to the game experience.
Build around what you like, especially. If you think a model is super cool, use it.
Cool is
use it.
Fantastic.
Even if it's terrible, use it. You'll have so much more fun using something you think is cool than what is the meta.
Absolutely.
You know?
If I tried to cram myself into, specifically what's considered the best lists, I know I wouldn't enjoy them.
Yeah.
It's not my play style. So it's all about finding personally what works best, and
Yep.
yeah, finding that fine
Yep.
balance.
And as you get more into the tournament scene, you might find yourself going, okay, I can let go of some units now that
Yeah.
I'm ready for it. But when you're first starting out, have fun with it.
Absolutely. You need the experience, and the only way to get the experience is games, and the only way to enjoy yourself is to play something you enjoy. Like, don't make it like pulling teeth.
Yeah, and there's nothing funner than walking up to a table and your opponent goes, "What is that?"
Oh, I love that reaction. I love that. You're like, what does that do?
Yeah.
Oh, my friend, let me educate you on this.
Like, oh, this is a Vespid. Haven't seen one of these before, have
Right?
you?
But that also opens up some excellent scenarios where you've got people playing counter meta, where it's like, hey, I don't know how to deal with this thing.
Nope, I've never touched it before. I don't know what it does. And then they start playing cagey, and that
One
might
of the
give
guys
me an
around
advantage.
GW, even in 7th, 6th, he loved his Vespids.
Yeah. They're not great,
Caught people
but
off guard.
hey,
It was just enough.
you can definitely get some surprises in there.
Yep.
So what's some other topics we had lined up for today?
Well, the other thing that we really had to discuss today was the league that is about to start.
Yes.
Call of Eternity. So, we do have the full signups done. It went within, I think,
fast. Within a day.
6 or 9 or 12 hours or something ridiculous. It was very fast. It was the same day.
Yeah.
I know once the announcement went up, people were just grabbing like crazy.
Yep.
And that one is going to start up at the beginning of July. We're looking at the 3rd, I think, for the first game. Whatever the first Tuesday is. I think that's the 3rd of July. And yeah, we haven't gotten the full details yet, but David has started to put the information out. We know who's fighting each other in the first round. And we've got the information for the first battle. Again, all up on the 40 Below Gaming page under the league's information. And that way you can keep up to date on the missions, you can keep up to date on who's playing what.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. The Age of Sigmar one was a blast.
Yeah, unless you played Thurston and his Nurgle list.
See, I got to play with Thurston in the double game,
Right.
and it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Scryer plus Nurgle, all the mortal wounds. It was.
My goodness.
I don't think we lost a full unit that game.
No.
No.
He rarely does.
Yeah.
It's hard to grind him
Like
down.
he was up front, I had just all Scryer in the backfield.
Yep.
And
Yep.
that was it.
Had all the war machines ready
Yep.
to go.
Had all my little Skaven snipers and flamethrowers and
All those Giselles are so good.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're so good. People, that is actually my favorite unit to bring because people
Giselles?
go, they do what?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Again,
man.
going back to what does that unit
Yep.
do?
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, the league looks like it's gonna be blast.
Absolutely.
I've heard rumors that some specialty terrain will be coming up, but
Yes,
keep
I
your
know
ears to the
David has
ground.
been madly
Yep.
planning for this one, even back when he was helping get the Sigmar League organized, get everything going there.
Yep.
He was still just furiously plugging away at this 40K
Oh,
one,
yeah.
trying to get the details figured out. It's going to be more narrative-based than our first 40K
Yes.
League was last
Yeah.
year, but I have a feeling it's going to make this very interesting.
Yeah, our first 40K league was more of
This is like, hey, the addition just landed, let's roll
yes,
some dice.
yes, it was. We were all just trying to figure out what was going on.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
This
We didn't
one-
know what was good
no.
or not good,
No, we
or
didn't.
what worked, any of the little tricks.
I was still running 120 Poxwalkers in that one.
Aw, back before they nerfed them.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that was back when Zinch was still good for me.
yeah.
Yeah,
In the index days,
Brimstone's doing D3 mortal wounds.
back in the days of the good old
4 up
index.
infalls. Oh, gross.
I do kind of miss those days because everything was a bit more balanced.
Yeah, yeah.
Stratagems really threw a loop in the game, but
Yeah.
they're doing okay. Like they're
I
getting
kind of
stuff
figured they
together.
would, but
Yeah.
they've gone for a much larger step than I ever thought initially.
Yeah.
I thought we were going to see some neat things, like, oh, you can do some rerolls, you can do some interrupts.
Yeah, they really
Oh,
pumped
wow.
up the stratagem.
Wow. They
Yeah.
vected all of us.
Yep. Honestly, the stratagems are cool. I really feel like, sorry, I feel like different armies should have different point costs for their stratagems.
Absolutely. There's a few things that are too universal.
Yeah,
Like,
like
select
having
unit to fight again. 3
Yeah.
command points.
having armies that have certain stratagems at a certain cost, but that army is amazing at regenning stratagem points.
Oh.
It's like,
Yeah, there's a few things that I think armies need to have to be effective, and some don't have access to them, some do.
yeah,
The regen is one, minuses to hit is another,
yeah,
and then being able to function in all phases.
yes,
Even if you can't function in one phase, if you're superior in 2 or the other 3,
Yeah,
you're usually
exactly.
doing fine.
it's one of the syndromes that I think Tau. It's because they're not a top tier army. They're good. They're not top tier though.
Right.
They don't function in 2
There's
phases
no
of the
psychic
game.
blocking,
Yeah,
and your assault is minimal at best.
yeah. It's non-existent.
Yeah, I mean,
Your assault is Overwatch.
unless you're
That
doing
is your
those
assault.
stupid fusion blades, you've got nothing.
You even got 2 attacks only. With
I
that,
know,
right? Like
I know, and when that is your saving grace
Yeah.
for your
2 attacks.
yeah, you're not functioning in that
No.
phase at all.
It's so
I mean,
armies
you still have
yeah.
the random like a brimstone horror punches a demon prince to death,
Yeah.
or your ethereal clubbed away the last blow on a knight. But man, you can't rely on any of that.
No.
It's not a solid strategy.
Armies that can activate in all phases are definitely up there. So, you know,
And armies that can play in your opponent's turn are really broken, apparently.
I mean that's what Vec does.
That's what
It
Vec
comes in your opponent's turn and says, "No, sir, you sit right back down."
Until you roll that 1.
Yeah, CP it and roll a 1 again.
Right?
Oh man, I remember when that guy had a model.
I certainly hope he gets one
Oh,
again.
man,
I
he was
really
cool.
hoping with the Dark Eldar Codex they'd
He had,
at
like-
least have that, but no.
So I don't know if y'all have seen it, but he had this like awesome like swag
the
like
Vectmobile?
yeah, like pleasure raider with like some slaves on it, and he had this big throne
Oh,
that
man,
he's like
the classic Dark
lounging
Eldar
on.
slaves.
Yeah,
So good.
and he's just rolling around
good.
in a raider that was like a land raider. It was like
Yeah.
armor 14 all
Yeah.
around. He's
It's
just
like,
like,
you didn't see
what?
this."
What?
And now,
Now no, he just disappeared.
poor Vex.
Yeah, and their reasoning for it too is so stupid. They're like, oh, he's too busy running the city. Well, what's
Well, I'm sorry, what about Reboot?
What's, Gilliman
Fate
doing,
Reaver
or
just wandered
Celestine?
over.
What is she doing?
Yeah, like...
Are these
that
people
is
not
a
too
weak,
busy
weak
running there?
excuse. I'm sorry. Call?
Yeah, come on. The guy's busy building stuff. Leave him alone, guys. He's
Man.
building Primaris Marines.
That is literally the worst of the reasonings.
Yeah, like, it's terrible. That was the reasoning for taking out, like, half the Dark Eldar special characters.
Yep.
Ooh, they're busy in the Dark City.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sure
Oh,
they
you
are.
didn't want to update the model. Great. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Much
Cool,
appreciated.
for sure.
But it's interesting in this edition to see some of the armies that are heading towards the top and where they were in
Yes.
previous editions. It's a nice little reversal in a lot of ways.
It is. I'm glad Astra Militarum players are finally getting their due.
Oh yeah, the fact that the complaints are towards like Astra Militarum and Dark Eldar,
Yep.
it's
So
that's,
we
that's
remember.
nice. Yeah.
We remember last edition.
Yeah.
No.
And 6th.
It was Space Marines. It was the GW poster boys for the longest time.
And I
Space
find
Marines
it
and
very
Eldar.
interesting that they're in the middling role right
They
now.
are. They're not doing too hot.
Now, they do okay, but
They're not winning stuff.
no.
They're kind of coming in middle of the pack.
Yeah, there's ways to make them
Yep.
effective, but
You have to be very good general.
yes,
Is the
your
key.
generalship has to be incredibly
Yeah.
high with it.
They're a forgiving army, but the problem is you lack a lot of punch for that forgiveness.
Absolutely, and once that punch gets chewed down, you really don't have a lot to play with.
Yeah. Like whereas Dark Eldar, they have no forgiveness.
No,
But-
same with Harlequins. You get hits, that's it.
Yeah. But you're punching down to the very last Darklands.
Yeah, yeah. The swings are happening. The endurance isn't there. Like I'll get ground out, but
Yeah.
I'm still swinging all the way down to that last
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah, you're still going
That
for
desperate
it.
clawing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You as long as you got a blaster on the table, you got a hope.
Oh man.
Hope and a dream.
All those blasters.
Those are D6 damage blasters. That was an interesting choice.
Yeah. I kind of like that they went that direction.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think what they did is they almost solidified the place that dark lances go on vehicles,
Yes.
blasters go on infantry.
absolutely. They made it much more attractive to
Yeah.
have the blaster on your infantry.
I'm kind of sad they didn't upgrade the Dark Eldar Haywire blaster though to be in line with the Harlequin
Yeah,
one.
like the Harlequin ended up as
Yeah.
D6 shots, and it's still D3 for the.
It's still
Dark
D3
Eldar.
for Dark Eldar, and it's very lackluster at D3.
It is. The D6 is really what makes it for me.
Yeah.
Today, like, I was having a game earlier, and I was on fire with the rolls.
Yeah.
Like, I was getting stupid rolls. I think at one point, I had a 6, a 6, and a 5 for one squad, a 6, a 4, and a 5 for the next, and then 2 6s, a 4, and a 3 for the
Not much you can do
third.
versus that.
And it's like, okay, there's volume of shots. Like, I'm only hitting on 3s. I'm only hitting on 3s.
Oh,
right?
my
There's
heart.
no re-rolls in there. But that volume is going to get through, and it's going to do damage.
Yep.
You know, 2/3 of them hit, and then half of those are doing mortal wounds.
Yeah.
Or better, like multiple mortal wounds. Then I'm sorry, that's hard to deal with.
It is. It is.
It makes the difference.
Yeah.
If I had D3 rolls on those squads, I would have been like 9 shots max, 8 shots max.
And then it's kind of meh.
Yeah, it doesn't work as well.
It's just a weird design choice, I think.
Yeah, I think we'll end up seeing some balancing further down the road as things happen.
Speaking of balance further down the road.
Oh, absolutely.
I've seen a lot of talk about this online, so I want to get your opinion.
Oh, definitely.
The Knight detachment, bringing
Yes.
back to Knights.
Yes.
It gives you 3 CP for the full thing.
Yes.
And then you can't use armigers to get that CP.
Correct.
So, assuming this book was written before the FAQ dropped,
Yeah.
where you get 5 CPs for a battalion,
Yeah.
do you think in the FAQ for this book that they're going to maybe do a little bit of tweaking on that CP?
I think they would adjust it a little bit, because 3 right now isn't that big a bite to go for. And especially, as we said earlier, to cram in that many points a night
Yep.
to get it.
What did Ryan say there on Facebook? I see
That chirpy.
Harleys have something. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. There are some brutal units in the Harlequins.
What is it? The Caress, I think? Like,
The Kiss does D3
The Kiss,
damage.
the Kiss.
It's Strength +1, -1, and D3 damage. Caress is +2, -2 single damage, and Embrace is +1, -3 single damage. They all have utility. There's all
Yeah.
places that those could work well. But the Kisses, yeah.
which is the one that turns, it's like an artifact. I think it's a Kiss, right? Turns into an artifact, and it's like 3 damage flat or something like that to infantry.
Yes,
and-
yes, that's the Rose. You get
Yeah.
to reroll failed wounds,
Ugh.
and it's 3 damage if you're fighting infantry. Yeah, there are some really nasty ones that you can get hit by.
Yeah. So sorry, what were you saying about the Knight thing?
Oh,
Cut you off
that
there.
to make it more attractive to do that, I think you'd have to bump it at least to the 5 instead
Yep.
of the 3.
Yeah, I think so too.
That's basically where I was going with that.
What about the armigers? Do you see them reversing that?
I would like to see the armigers still allow you to do the
CP?
The CP.
I think so.
It makes more sense to me.
Yeah.
And honestly, when I was looking at the list and what I wanted to put together, the
Yep.
armigers were what I was looking at to make it a little more punchy, to fill
Yep.
it out a little bit more if I didn't want to, like, do an admech spam or
Yeah.
guard spam or whatever else I wanted to fit in.
I think people get scared too because they see the Imperial Knight tag
Yeah.
on armiger. They're like, oh my god. But no, it's like a Lehman Russ. Worse, actually. It's only
Yeah.
T7,
It's,
right?
It's like a
Like-
a small Russ. It's a
yeah,
mini Russ.
like it's not that strong. It's not
And,
rocking
the point
28
value
wounds.
Is I don't want to say it's too much for it. It's probably right where it should
It's
be.
accurate, but it should be giving
Yeah.
you CP. It really should be.
That's the thing that bothers me is that
Yeah.
it doesn't. It means you've got this nice support unit that suddenly people are going to not want to take.
It doesn't make sense to take it.
And especially when, in terms of dollars, it's a really good value. Two
Yep.
of those for $90 in a box is a lot better.
Yep.
Especially if you're trying to fill things out.
And the gun ones are pretty cool. Like, I'm not super hype on the Melta chainsword
The Melta
one.
Chainsword, no. I like that they changed its chainsword so it's got a sweep attack
Yeah.
now. That makes it more useful. But
Little
I'd
bit, yeah.
still rather have the autocannons
Still- yeah.
kind of ranging out as
Yep.
scouts and pump,
Yep.
pump, kind of the warhounds to the warlord types.
Yes.
Yeah.
The cool, I think the cool use though for the mini ones is, or sorry, for the chainsword ones,
Yeah.
is if you're running a lot of CC knights and you throw a couple of these chainsword guys in there,
Yeah.
there's just some stratagems actually that
That allows
bounce-
it to interact. Yeah.
bounce back and forth, and that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But beyond that, it's why take them? You know,
Well, sure. If
You're
they're not
getting
going to
CP.
do anything for you, if it's going to penalize you essentially for taking them,
Yeah.
that's a bad choice in my mind.
Yep.
That makes people steer away from it, and it seems like they brought those two out to help flesh the codex out more.
Yeah, and then they say
They brought
no.
those two. They brought the 2 variants of the big ones, and then you've got your laser knight and the character.
Have you seen anyone use the character yet?
No, it's out.
I have not.
This weekend.
Oh, I just mean battle
Yeah.
reports.
Oh,
things like
battle
that.
reports? No,
No.
not yet. I have a feeling if you were going armature heavy, suddenly
Maybe.
the laser knights make sense because they buff the armatures.
Yeah.
But again, with the armatures not granting you any CP in
I really hope
detachments,
they fix that in FAQ. I
that
think
is
it's
the
pretty
number one thing I
glaring.
want them to do for the Knights is to FAQ that.
Yeah.
Most of the rest is fine. They might have to do some wording clarification ones because they always do.
Yeah, there's some things I've seen people try and say here or
Always.
there,
Always.
but it is what it is.
Yeah. It's what people are going to do. They're going to try and find the loopholes
Yep.
to make their army more potent.
Yep. And there's nothing wrong with that. Everyone does it, so you should too. It's just
Absolutely. There's no shame in it.
don't
but
expect it to last.
the company has to be able to recognize and close those loopholes when they happen and close them in a way that doesn't have an extreme number of unintended consequences.
Yeah.
Like, that's where it gets difficult because we've seen it happen already with FAQs. One unit
Yeah.
at the top gets adjusted, and because of the rule it used is similar to lower level units,
Yeah.
they get hit harder and brings them even further down.
Yeah. Like, just going out here, Poxwalkers, on their own, are a garbage unit.
Absolutely.
They're 6 points for something worse
Then
than
your cultists.
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. What made them good was cultists, but they nerfed the Tide of Traitors.
Yeah.
In my mind, that probably would have been enough.
That
To
was
slow down the
first
Poxwalker.
step, and that was enough.
And
For
then
sure.
they keep going, and they say, no, you can't increase squads above max size unless you pay CP restriction. It's like, nail in the coffin.
Yeah.
Nail in the coffin.
And unfortunately, when they make decisions like that, it leaves a sour taste in people's mouths. Number one, if you invested so much
Yeah.
in it, and number two, that hey, it might switch randomly in a couple of months. You don't know what you're building now is going to still work if you're trying for something powerful. It's a crapshoot at that point. And then it's like, well, whose unit is next?
Yeah. We all thought Dark Reapers were going to get it, but they didn't. Yeah, the Valiant.
Yeah, Justin on Facebook was making a comment that the Valiant has been his base so far. Just been the destroyer of worlds for his games. And really, that's what I expected.
Can't
out of
argue,
it.
yeah.
3d6 flamer, that's -2 and 2 damage.
Yep.
The
Get
auto
that.
hits,
Get that Trader's Pyre where you're re-rolling to wound as well.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
You
I'm
wanna
sorry.
ruin some
It's
days.
It's a powerful, powerful unit.
Yep.
Again, the harpoon is kind of hilarious, but
Yep.
doesn't really sell me. But it's balanced off by those shield breaker
Yep.
missiles and the siege cannons.
Yep.
And personally, I'd be doing 2 of the cannons and 1 of the sets of the missiles.
Now, if you're playing Dark Eldar, you can ignore this whole thing because you're just going to Vect it anyway.
I mean,
But that stratagem to pick out
yes.
characters,
Oh, absolutely.
it's pretty good.
It's very strong.
It's
I
pretty good.
don't see many knights surviving to pop missiles turn 3 or 4.
No, that's why
So
you
the
maybe
one
only
is
get 2
enough. Yeah.
and pop them early.
And unload into a character.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Don't go for like tough characters. Don't go for 6
No,
wound
no, no.
characters. That's a
Bully.
bad idea. Go for the little guard commander with 4 wounds
Yep.
that has no save anyway, and he will literally just die.
Smash it down, or if
Yeah.
you've got a character that you've already managed to chip away at a little
Yep.
bit, finish it with that.
Yep. Like trying to hit Typhus with one of these or Mortarion or something.
Don't be greedy.
It's kind of a waste.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, if you're going to do that, I would rather see something as simple as, like, the cannons happening.
Yeah. Like it's just not worth it.
Mortarion is... Yeah, he's not a
Oh,
good
you
target
did
for
6 wounds and I ignore 4 of them.
Yeah. that. Now, he's a prime target for a harpoon.
He is, yes. Fire stuff at Mortarion,
Yes.
but not the Shieldbreaker.
Not the shield breaker missiles, no. Yeah, and I mean, a lot of people look at these things and it's like instantly they get visions in their head of killing the biggest unit on the
Yeah,
table. Popping
you
the
see
shield
it.
captains.
You see that Shieldbreaker captain, and you see the stratagem. You're like, yes, I'm gonna roll to hit on a wound. It's gonna ignore their invul, and a shield captain will die every
He's
turn.
Down.
No, there's so many points for failure there. You gotta hit.
Yep.
You gotta wound.
Yep. Gotta roll
Yes,
the
they get no
damage.
save, but then you gotta roll damage. And a lot of characters these days have an after damage save.
Yes. Just for durability's sake,
Yep.
you absolutely need it.
Yep, and that can ruin your day,
Yep.
especially if you spend 2. Is it 2 or 1?
I think it's 2 to target the character.
I think it's
I'm
2.
not 100%. Could just be
And
the
you're
1.
playing knights.
But
so-
still, it's even at 1, it's a rare resource.
Yep. With knights, it definitely is.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
even if you're bringing a guard battalion, don't expect that guard battalion to live that long. You know, maybe 2 turns.
seriously, all you're doing is screening or camping on objectives with that.
Yep.
You want to tuck your guys out of the way and not
Yep.
have be paid attention to.
Yeah, like
One of my favorite tricks with my Archons with the Dark Eldar, because I can't fit them in the bolts, is just, this scenery completely blocks all line of sight. You're going in this corner, and I'm not even going to look at you.
nope.
If the other guy forgets about it and I make a mad dash later, okay,
Yeah.
that's something, but yeah, just ignore it.
What I really
This
love
isn't here.
doing is taking the Agents of Vect and doing the heavy support detachment,
Yeah.
putting one Archon in the middle of like 3 Ravagers,
Yes.
and there's just one dude. He has no role in the game other than to provide rerolls to
Yep.
these Ravagers.
Just sitting there going, all right, guys, we got this.
Yep. I'm gonna do nothing. You 3, let's
Fire.
go.
Oh.
But that's the character special rule. So
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What
And
can you do?
I'm okay with what they've done with it.
Yep.
It's at a good balance. Sigmar is adjusting theirs, and
you know, I kind of like the Sigmar one.
I like where Sigmar is doing.
I do.
I didn't like where they were at before, where you could just target the character. That was getting a little hard to deal with.
It was. Shooting armies were
Yeah.
just clearly the superior.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But now that it's going to second edition, the change is that it's -1 to hit a character.
As long as they're
As
near a
they're-
unit of 3 or more, I think.
Yeah.
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 So, as long as they're not in the open,
It's
you
a
know,
lookout
-1.
sword, essentially.
Yep. And you know what? I wouldn't be sad if Warhammer switched to that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because there's a lot of buffs for characters that are like, a lot of relics, sorry, that are like -1 to hit this character.
Yep.
So if you had a suddenly -2 to hit characters,
That's not terrible.
and it makes it so that people might think of taking relics other than the regen CP one every game.
Why would you need anything other than
single
regenerating
game. And you have to do it.
Absolutely.
You're just a fool not to at this point.
I mean, and it comes down to it where I say I don't fault people for the choices they make for their tournament lists. If
Yeah.
you've got something in your codex that is that appealing, I'm not gonna be all over you for taking it. That just
Yep.
makes sense. I would do the same thing in that position.
Yep.
Um,
It's kind of what I actually like about the Knights Codex is there is no CP relic, so you're actually free to take anything you want in there.
Free!
The shackles are loose.
yeah. I like that as well with my Harlequins,
Yeah.
except I have to take the Warlord trait for it.
Yeah.
But it still gives me a reroll of like a save or to hit or to wound once
Yeah.
a game, which I always forget about.
Yeah. Oh, every time.
But you know,
Everybody does.
when I use a Vect and then I roll that 3 and get 3 CP back, it's all worth it.
It is pretty good.
Yeah.
Do we have any other topics we wanted to cover tonight?
Well, I think that covers the majority of our topics tonight. So we're just going to go into our wrap up, I think.
Was there any questions in the Facebook
Yeah,
before
before we finish up, any in the Facebook or the Twitch chat?
Any questions about Highlander? You know, we got the answers. We may not tell you them, but we do have them.
Well, we've got them.
Yes, the Overwatch stratagem for Hawkshot is amazing. It really makes your opponent think twice. You get to tow without towing.
And you've done that with the missile. So Justin is saying that this Hawkshot's going to saving grace. Overwatch is making the opponent really think about it. And then that his missiles have been used in that Overwatch stratagem.
Yep. I mean, hey, why not, right?
Well, yeah, it's letting you fire at a reasonable skill.
If it's between shooting your guns and dying, shoot your guns. You know, don't save those one-shot missiles for some magical future where you happen to survive the combat.
Or
you know?
someone who's arguing that you have to shoot all your available weapons.
Just do you.
Just do you.
Just do you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Ryan, Ryan's been trying to sell me on Knights. He's trying to tell me that Knights are the coolest shit out there.
Only if you take guard.
And I'm like, Ryan, they're not that good.
They're good, but they're not that good. Yeah.
I'm gonna trigger him right now. He's gonna start commenting.
Knights still take a CP regen relic through a guard battalion.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, yeah, of course you have
Well,
to.
yes.
I'm more saying in the Knights Codex. You're
yeah.
not forced into taking the Knight. Because when have you seen anything other than Kurov's Aquila on the guard army? Like, oh, you...
I cannot remember the last time.
Yeah,
Literally
I know
can't.
Brendan pays 1 CP for Relic of Loscadia sometimes,
Sometimes.
but
It depends how he's feeling that
that's
day.
all you see is Kurov's Aquila. Like, this poor dude's Aquila is just getting, like, frisbeed around the Imperium.
Just pass from guard to guard. Commander to commander.
Oh, man. Yeah.
All right. Well, looks like that is all for our questions tonight. Once again, thank you for joining us on the Dusty Auspex. We're going to do a quick little rundown of the sponsors as best I can remember them. We have, of course, Game Night Games. They're in their new location now.
Yep.
We have Hidden City Comics, have been a long-time sponsor of ours.
Over a year now, right?
Yeah, it was at the beginning of 8th edition.
Yeah.
We also have the wonderful folks at Northern Lights Terrain. AYB Online, as well as On Call Solutions, have been longtime sponsors since even before we got the podcast going, since before we got 40 Below Gaming going.
Yeah.
We have, let's see, anyone specific that I'm missing? There's probably someone, and I'm probably going to get reminded of it. Okay, we got On Call. We got Planes of War, which is our tournament. PvP Cyber Lounge, there. I knew I'd forget them, where we are currently broadcasting from. Of course, AYB Online. Fantastic.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us this week. We hope everyone enjoyed the conversation. Next week, of course, we'll have another fun run of topics. Probably a little more AOS talk because I'm going to get super excited about it.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy.
Yeah, and Logan, thanks for coming in this week.
problem.
Always a pleasure talking to you about tactics.
Yeah. Honestly, guys, hit me up on Facebook if you want to chat.
Absolutely. Always shoot us some questions if you have. You can message the 40 Below Gaming Facebook page, and you can message any of us personally. I don't know, I don't want to talk for Logan, but me, I never mind answering any of those questions that come through. And if I don't have the answer, I'll crowdsource it. I'll talk to guys like Logan and Scott, see what the hive mind can come up with.
I love telling you guys that your army lists are garbage.
Right? Deep down, there's a little pleasure, a little spike from that.
No, I'll try to give constructive advice, but yeah.
Yeah, we've got our very own brown magic here. Yeah.
All right, guys.
And remember, folks, if you're not rolling ones, you're cheating.